Good afternoon. Welcome to the January 12th meeting of Hardin County Fiscal Court. I remind you that this is a voting session. If you have cell phones, so please turn them off or put them into vibrate mode. We'll begin with a roll call, if you would, Ms. Donnelly.
Thune. Clem.
Here.
Wiseman.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Ronnie Goodman.
Here.
King.
Here.
Judge Barry.
Here.
Easter.
Here.
Doug Goodman.
Here.
Mr. Easter will lead us in invocation, and Mr. Wiseman in the pledge, if you'll please stand.
Join me in word of prayer. Dear Father God, we thank you for today and the blessings of life. We ask that you be with us today. Guide and direct us as we go about this agenda. At the end of the day, we're found faithful to those that we serve and represent. Be with us now for all these things. We give you all the praise and glory. And it's in the name of Jesus Christ I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll begin with department and office reports first. And first one we have up is Mr. Adam King with Planning and Development.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I've got the November and December reports from the Planning Commission. So first on your screen there, the Planning Commission did a couple of what we call non-listed uses. These are uses that aren't listed in the zoning ordinance. So the first one here was for a RV or recreational vehicle to be used full-time as a dwelling or residence. This was denied by the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission in their findings there in that resolution, we will allow RVs to be used full-time in mobile home parks as well as approved campgrounds, and then we also will still allow them for 60 days in a calendar year as what we call a temporary use. So just background on those, since 2008, we've received 27 complaints throughout the county for folks living in RVs. Oftentimes there's also property maintenance issues, and then generally with their holding tanks, they're not connected to septic systems. So that was denied by the Planning Commission. The next use that was brought before the Planning Commission that wasn't listed in the zoning ordinance was that for a solar farm. So the Planning Commission has now been approached by up to 5 separate developers looking to do solar farms throughout the county. We didn't have any regulations on those, so it went before the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission determined that in the A1 agricultural zone and in the industrial zones, a solar farm would be a conditional use permit, require a public hearing. Most of the areas we're looking, these would also need a zone change because they're most often zoned residential. So to do a solar farm, you'd be looking at a zone change to A1 or an industrial zone, as well as a conditional use permit. They also went ahead and noted that rooftop solar, so anyone out there wanting to do solar on top of a home or barn, that is permitted, and on a residential zone up to 1 acre would be permitted to do your own kind of personal solar project. Board of Adjustment saw a variance request from the Hardin County Fairgrounds. The Fairgrounds is looking to do some billboards. So we've done an analysis along I-65, looking at other jurisdictions and billboard regulations. They didn't get everything they requested, but in the end, they did get a variance to allow for, they are going to have 2 billboards. They would have 1,500 foot of space between them. Again, the zoning ordinance required 2,000, so that was a variance. And then they also were allowed to go up to 378 square feet, where the zoning ordinance only allowed 300 square feet. Lastly here, this was a variance that went before the board, the Hutcherson family and Sportsman Lake subdivision. So they merged 5 lots there in Sportsman Lake together into a single lot and still needed a little bit of a variance along Hornet Drive and Woods Road. Again, unique situation. Not only is it a corner lot, but it was also triangular in shape, and they were approved for that variance. Looking at the various land use applications, for November and December, we did 14 subdivision plats, investigated 5 violations of the zoning ordinance, and also reviewed 2 development plans. Looking at plats and lots, 2020 lots were up, so we did 109 lots that got recorded. Plats that got recorded, 109. That exceeded 2019 when we were at 97. And then looking at the lots recorded on those plats, 129 new lots, and that's also up from 2019 when we were at 119. Permit-wise, November and December, while normally slow, were quite busy. So 43 building permits in November, 41 in December, 548 total building permits for the year. And then David Veers was very busy, 1,149 electrical permits for the year. Single-family dwellings. Happy to report with everything going on in the world, 173 new single-family homes in unincorporated Hardin County. The map of those homes is on the right. The busiest subdivision for the year would be Rosie Tulip off Gaither Station Road with 13 new homes. Second place would be Ambrook, that's down in Stevensburg, and we did 9 homes down there. A little bit more analysis on the year. So again, 173 is the most homes since 2010. Average square footage under roof, that would include garages and porches, is 2,927. Total construction costs for those 173 homes would be $34.8 million. So that gives you an average construction cost, and again, this is what's reported to our office and we report to the census, but that'd be a $201,000 per home on the construction cost. So with those great numbers on single-family dwelling for 2020, again, 173 is the highest since 271 in 2010. But if you notice the chart here on total building permits, they really mimic each other. So again, 548 building permits for the year was also the highest since 2010 when we were at 643. Finally here, inspections. So again, even with it being the winter, the inspectors did 25 footers in November, 22 footers in December. So they're staying busy again. The weather been pretty mild so far. That's all I've got. Happy to answer any questions you all might have.
Mr. King, I've got one on your first on your presentation.
Yes, sir.
The first photograph that you had was the RVs, and I know it's disapproved, but is there any follow-up from us, or is there got to be a complaint? Or?
Yeah, so on the violations of the zoning ordinance, our office, of course, 4th largest county in Kentucky, and we've really got 2 doing zoning. We're complaint driven, so it's one of those things that we go out and get a photo, and oftentimes they're telltale signs. There's patio furniture, there's a grill, and a lot of times this is neighbor on neighbor reporting, sending pictures as well, but we'll send a letter, start the conversation, and then again, sometimes it's difficult to determine or prove, are you living in the RV? Are you living in the RV every day? So it's kind of a balancing act. But oftentimes it's just a relative that's there for a short stay, and we can allow it with that 60 days in a calendar year. Somebody's got property that's along the Nolan River where they want to go camp so many weekends out of the year, and it works. But especially with the economy, more and more we are seeing folks that want to do this, but it's just not something the Planning Commission wanted to open the door on in all the residential zones.
Thank you.
In that same category, what if a person has a home that's destroyed and they want to put a travel trailer or something there while they're rebuilding their home? It takes a year or so. Do they have to come before the planning and zoning on that?
Yeah, again, the extenuating circumstances in that type of scenario, I'll give you an example. We had a gentleman whose home burned, a blind gentleman whose home burned on Bardstown Road. So we can't give you electricity for your RV, but we can give you electricity for that detached garage. And you know, so we try to work with folks. Again, you know, we do the best we can, but more oftentimes than not, they're not even coming in for electricity. There's a generator running all the time, and oftentimes if you've got neighbors close by, they hear it. You know, they see the cars there every night. They see the lights on every night. So, but yeah, in an event of a disaster, tornado, fire, whatnot, you name it, we work with people.
Anyone else? Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. Next, we'll hear from the Hardin County Engineering Department, and we're proud to introduce our new county engineer, Charlie Allen. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself and give us a brief report.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting to do this presentation today, so I don't have a lot of fancy graphs and charts and all that like Adam has, but
Next time.
yeah, that's right. So which button? Just the arrow? There we go. Okay. Good deal. So first, I've never had a chance yet to thank you for the opportunity to serve here as your county engineer. I mean, this is a huge honor for me. I really appreciate all of you for giving me this opportunity, Daniel and Judge and all of you folks. So thank you very much for that. I'm going to just give you a little background, my personal background. 25 years is how much time I spent with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. All of that was right here in Hardin County. And I truly think Hardin County is a great place to live, to work, to raise a family, to play, to shop, to dine, and to grow a business. So, you know, I really have enjoyed my time in this county. I've served in various roles, as you can see there, and I've also been a part of several projects here in Hardin County. And if you like those projects, then I was involved. If you don't like them, then I had nothing to do with it. So, just so you know that. We hope to get out soon, and I want to meet with several of the developers, contractors, and engineers in the community. I've worked with a lot of them over the years, but I do plan to get out very soon and meet with those folks and see them. So looking at my family, my personal life there, my wife, we celebrated our 25th anniversary in December. She's been teaching 5th grade in Greene County for 22 years, elementary education. She's counting down to retirement. COVID obviously has taken its toll on teachers, and all your educators around here will attest to that. So she's counting down, you know, the years. She still has about 5 more to go. My daughter Bailey, she is 18 years old. She was a really good golfer at Greene County High School. Her career has ended with that, but she plans to be a pediatric nurse in the future. She's already started some of those classes, working towards that. We have a son, Carter. He's 13. We adopted him from South Korea when he was 7 months old. Very good athlete, loves basketball and baseball, and he hit 2 big three-pointers last night to help his team win. So, as you can see, I'm very proud of my family. We'll get into some of the actual engineering work now. I don't have a lot of information just yet. I'm just trying to get my feet wet. We have gone out. We're trying to get the erosion inspections back on track. We've been out, our whole staff has been out in the field, so you'll probably see us out quite a bit as a group, doing multiple inspections, trying to get caught up. And our goal is not to cause an undue burden on homeowners and developers, but simply we want to work with them to ensure that our roadways, our streams are kept clean. The silt does not leave the project site. I mean, that's basically what this program is about. We'll look at the 2019 numbers, and I'll give you a comparison to 2020. It looks like the staff did 1,108 inspections. They had 30 notice of violations in 2019, and those stop work orders. And let's look forward to the last year. They did more inspections, 1,214, and they had fewer notice of violations. So that tells you there's been a lot of progress. It looks like people are aware now. They're trying to do a good job, and so I think that will continue in the future, and that's the plan. That's the goal. Let's look at 911, a little bit of that. It looks like really 2019 versus 2020, we're seeing virtually the same numbers. A little bit of a drop-off in 2020 as far as new addresses, but basically the same. And so we're hoping 2021 that we'll continue to see a trend in a positive direction. One last thing I do want to say is in regard to Vicki. I just would ask, she wanted to be here today. She had every intentions of doing this presentation. I guess this would probably have been her last one, maybe to the fiscal court. I just ask that you to remember her in your thoughts and prayers, her family, entire family, if you don't mind. And if you have any questions for me, though, I'll be glad to take them. Hopefully I can answer them at this time.
Comments for Charlie?
Welcome. Thank y'all.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
It's on the ground, it's in the water.
Gonna miss Vicki saying that. You gotta remember that.
Yeah. You'll catch up with the jokes. All right, next up we have Mr. Dwight Morgan.
Oh, Roy,
County Road
you stole my
Supervisor.
thunder there. I was going to use that, but daggone it. Good afternoon, Judge Barry, members of Fiscal Court. It's good to be with you. Happy New Year to everyone, and it's good to see everyone. Charles, it's good to have you here and working for Hardin County. I think we're going to have a good time, and we're going to do some neat things here coming up in the next couple of years. So I'm going to give you my road department report for November and December. On encroachment permits, you'll see we are up 27 encroachment permits, so kind of goes along with what Adam's saying. We've been busy with new housing, and so everything's looking good. I just hope we just keep things rolling right along in 2021. We need that. Road signs, pretty much the same on our new signs from last year compared to this year. Our repair was down. The other, we've done probably a lot more work, straightened up signs. I noticed we had a lot of signs that were kind of leaning and needed some attention. And Todd does a great job with our signs. Daily work activities. Right now, we're pretty well into our tree trimming and shoulder repair. We've got quite a bit of ditching that we're doing at the present time. And we also have our mow trim out, which we desperately need to keep doing. So that's pretty much what we're into for the time being. We did finish up one of our discretionary funding projects that had several roads in it. Lower Colesburg was the last one. It was really a huge project for us. We had quite a bit of work to do on that road. We got that completed. We did on our flex funding. We finished up with Harris School Road. That was also went along with our Blue Ball road as well. So we got quite a bit of asphalt done last year. Would have had it all done if it hadn't been for a logger on one of our roads that we decided to, we did do part of it. After talking to the judge here one day, we did decide to go ahead and do about half of it. So we'll finish it up in the spring here. So we're pretty well done on our blacktop work. So total patching right now, we've depleted our tank. We've decided not to do any of that during the winter. We've had some issues with that. Maybe we did it when maybe it was too cold or too wet, so we're going to wait till it warms up in the spring, and hopefully we'll get our inmates back where we can get some other work done, and we really do miss those inmates. Friday afternoon, about 6:30, I get a call, and I'm just waiting. It's all Friday nights are this time of year is my Gold Rush nights. I never missed an episode at Gold Rush, and I get a telephone call. One of our residents decides to burn a little some leaves in his ditch line. You can't really see a whole lot probably, but well, he catches our cross tile on fire and burns it out. So as you can see, picture on the left, We've got some steel plates. We took steel plates out that night, secured the crossing, and for 3 residents beyond that. So $11,000 later, we've got a new cross tile. So just lesson learned. It's not a good thing to burn leaves around a plastic cross tile because they will catch on fire. It's amazing. Any questions?
He turned that into his homeowner's liability?
Yes, he did. With a little encouragement, yes, he did, Fred. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. Probably shouldn't use the company, but State Farm was excellent. I'll have to say they were spot on. I didn't have any trouble with them. Whoops. So anyway,
Watch out, Brett.
You jumped right in that, Fred.
Magistrate Clem, I think you walked right into that.
Yeah. So Fred, I know, all jokes aside, Fred, you know, a lot of people probably don't know that you work for Kentucky Farm Bureau, and I know they're going to miss you. Fred's going to retire. I just want to wish you the best, and I don't know if I'm really looking forward to you retiring because I'm afraid that I'm going to have to work really hard on my golf game just to stay up with you. So, but best wishes to you, and I can't say enough about you.
Does that mean we're going to have to start watching you to make sure you're working and not out playing golf?
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So, anyway.
Fred, you want
Anything
to go
else?
ahead? You want to go ahead and announce your retirement now?
Might as well, March 1st.
Any other positive comments for Mr. Morgan?
Thank you all. Y'all have a good
Actually,
afternoon.
good job. We appreciate it. All right, we'll move on to item 3, which is ordinance and resolutions and agreements. We have one today to consider. It's to approve the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 321-3, Series 2020. It's amending this current year's fiscal year's budget. It's amendment number 3. We had first reading of this on the 22nd of December at our meeting, and second reading would be in order today.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Wiseman to approve second reading. I would note that this is, again, dealing with mostly grant money from the coronavirus relief and some of the additional road funding that we've received from the state. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Donnelly?
Clem,
Yes.
Wiseman,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ronnie Goodman, King,
Yes.
Judge Barry,
Yes.
Easter,
Yes.
Doug Goodman,
Yes.
Boone.
That brings us to the consent agenda. Those items were included in your packet that was distributed electronically. Are there any corrections that need to be made?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Mr. Doug Goodman, second by Mr. Clem. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Donnelly?
Wiseman,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ronnie Goodman, King,
Yes.
Judge Barry,
Yes.
Easter,
Yes.
Doug Goodman,
Yes.
Clem.
Yes.
We'll start around the table today with comments with Mr. Wiseman.
Judge, the Solid Waste Committee will have their meeting next Tuesday instead of next Monday, which is a holiday, in the room across the hall at 3:30.
All right.
That's it.
Mr. Thompson?
I have no comments. Thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Goodman? Mr. King?
I have nothing.
Mr. Easter?
Have nothing.
Mr. Doug Goodman?
Have no items, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Clem, you got all the time.
Don't drink and drive, and don't text and drive. Thank you.
Ms. Donnelly, anything from your office?
No, sir.
Ms. Oldham, anything from yours?
No, thank you.
I'd remind everybody that the next meeting of Hardin County Fiscal Court is on Tuesday, the 26th of January, 2 weeks from today at 3:30 in the afternoon here in the courtroom. If there's not anything else to come before us, a motion would be in order for us to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Thompson, second by Mr. King. Hearing no objection, we stand adjourned.